I had no intention of getting involved with AAR at all. I was going to go on safari and go fishing at Malindi. But then I met a man called Bengt Beckman. Bengt Beckman was a very charming, a beautifully suited Swedish gentleman. And he described what AAR was about in his terms. I mentioned Bengt Beckman, the founder of the company. A man called Lord Enniskillen took over and was a senior shareholder. A man called Jaggi Gatkunju was the marketing genius who looked after a team of sales agents who were really the money makers, if you like, or the money introducers to the company. But those are the people who were really, really important in setting this company up.
My husband, Bengt Beckman, the founder of AAR, we married in 1981, and he had just moved to East Africa or to Kenya, and he was wondering, what shall we do? What shall I start doing? So he went through quite a few things that he started, and then there was this idea of starting a rescue company.
Bengt Beckman, the story he told me is that he realized when he was here is that a lot of tourists and expatriates, they had medical cover, but if they had an accident in the Masai Mara or somewhere, their medical cover would kick in when they arrive at their destination in Europe, and so they needed to be evacuated. And that is why he coined or he called the company AAR, Africa Air Rescue.
If you look at the background of AAR, one of the things that was the tipping point in starting the company was the question Bengt Beckman and his friends asked: if something happens to me when I'm traveling around Kenya, who will take care of me? Fortunately, these guys had quite a bit of experience traveling around the world, and they had seen the aspect of insurance, like travel insurance, but they found that as a gap. So what they did is that they went to AMREF, or the flying doctors, and found out that the flying doctors was filling that particular gap at that particular time. So what Bengt and his friends found out is that there is a niche, there is a gap, that you can deal with the commercial side of air rescue and leave the charity side of it to AMREF. So that is how AAR was formed.
AAR started as a rescue and evacuation company. Then we transitioned into a healthcare service provision company.
In 1996, it was a small office along Kitante Road, which is currently opposite the Golf Course Hotel. We moved on, relocated to Hillview Apartments, which is on Clementi Road. And there, the company had grown. In fact, there were agents who were there were about 30. Now, from there, we relocated way back to Kitante Close, which is just near Mulago roundabout. So AAR, I've seen AAR grow and grow.
So the next question you might want to ask, so why did it not die in the early 80s and 90s? Why is it that it continued growing at what it is today? AAR as an institution has kept human beings first. I repeat myself. By making sure that the human beings who work with and for AAR are at the center of everything that the company does, we've been able to keep the company going even when it was technically insolvent. But the people who have worked in the company have kept it going because they were personally invested in the company.
And the first time I got to know about the brand AAR, I was still a young girl. It was on a Sunday. I was in church, and after service, the team from AAR was given an opportunity to talk to the congregation, and that's when they introduced to us the AAR product.
I joined AAR when we had basically one office, and that office was at Clement Hill, where we had emergency services, we had clinics. All the offices were situated in that place. But the other thing I can talk about possibly was the fact that we were selling medical insurance in dollars. I can remember that we were selling each product at about $160 per person per year, and most of the benefits that we were providing to our clients were in dollars.
I saw the logo for AAR at a number of gates when I was growing up. And for me, seeing myself working for AAR, it means everything that I think my dad today thinks it's a privilege. I started working in AAR at a very young age. Then I joined the head offices in Kololo as a customer care officer. I worked with several clients.
And what I remember so vividly was my first payment, possibly about 1 or 2 weeks of the first commission that I earned. Because I had never earned such money in my life, it was so much that when I received it, I had to call my friends for us to go and celebrate.
I've been a director of AAR Health Services for more than 15 years. At first as a director and later on as chairman. I've been chairman, I think, for about 4 years now. And I'm currently at the helm of AAR Uganda. At first, AAR had a very small board, and most of the directors used to come from abroad for the meetings. And it is in later years that the board has now included Ugandans to both to lead the board and sit on the board. At the moment, also management consists of mostly Ugandans, so it's quite a big thing now.
When I joined the board, we used to meet in Nairobi because the board had a number of members were non-Ugandans. Over time, this trend has changed, and today as I speak, we have a Ugandan chairman, Dr. Alan Chemobi, and the majority of the members of the board are all Ugandans. Risk management is really the key thing for insurance. Management assesses and we have a checklist of risks. And when the board meets, we go through all that concerns the insurance industry to check whether we are on course. We've done this one well, I think, with of course a few issues here and there, and the risks can never stop, but they're properly managed.
But more importantly, we help management appreciate that risk is not bad, right? With every change and event that comes, there's an opportunity to exploit, although on some occasions it's a downside risk, meaning there's nothing you can exploit but mitigate and manage. We meet 4 times a year, I believe, every quarter. And at those meetings, we provide constructive feedback, but we also give them their roses. We give management their roses where they have done an exceptional job. We commend them. We also encourage them to upskill because the environment in which they're conducting business is versatile, so they can't afford to be static. So we encourage them to attend trainings that will help them become powerhouses in the different areas that they provide support.
And we continue to innovate not just in Kenya, but across East Africa. For example, in Uganda, we have partnerships, including with the Kingdom of Uganda, to provide some certain types of insurance that is customized to the market. We have confidence in the capacity that we have built to take the business into the future.
Our board has constantly encouraged us to be innovative, to also invest in technology. So what we've done is that we've gone ahead and invested a lot in technology. When it comes to our distribution, when it comes to our customer touch points, a lot of investment has gone in there. So our clients can easily access our products. But in addition to that, we have made sure that when it comes to distribution, through technology, we are able to reach many of our clients, even those that could not easily access us in the previous years.
I can't recall the exact date when I joined AAR, but it's over 30 years. And I've been a constant member.
Well, what I remember, I'm there with you people for quite a long time, maybe close to 24 years or more, because what I remember that I was with you people since 2020.
As long as I remember me working here at the bank, we've been working with AAR. AAR has been looking after us, our staff, their health, and I could say probably for the last 2 decades, that's how far it has come, and which signifies quite a very strong bond that has been created between the 2 institutions.
Good hospitals and good clinics who can provide my what you call inpatient and outpatient services.
The biggest value is the fact that the AAR has clinics and services countrywide, and whether you are in Gulu or Masaka, you can always access a service. That's one. But secondly, if things get out of hand, then AAR is on with the premiums we have to decide to take us overseas for treatment.
Choosing AAR, of course, there are certain factors usually that we consider as we are procuring or onboarding a service provider. By the fact that AAR, was spread, they had various partners they work with across the country, that in its own, was enough to make them become our service provider of choice. When we tried them, we realized that indeed they were delivering what they had promised, ensuring that our staff, wherever they are always accorded services as and when they needed them. And therefore, that's why probably we've been able to journey together for all this long.
We are still alive because we have had good medical services, both for acute illnesses and chronic illnesses.
Like in any other business or industry, technology is a key factor for service delivery. In AAR, we used to have what we called photo cards. But as the market kept on changing, we had to go into digitalization where people would access services without presenting those kind of cards. So it made service delivery so easy that it is very easy to capture someone's benefits and what they're entitled to. So in a way that moving to that kind of setup, we have been so efficient when it comes to service delivery. And of course, the partners that we associate with, you cannot do that once you don't have a digital platform. So we believe technology has done a lot in shaping AAR where it is. And we intend to continue with that kind of mechanism because we want to cover a vast part of the economy. We want to contribute greatly to the economy, but can only do that if we embrace technology.
Right now we are biometric. That's a great innovation which has eased customer experience and has made it easy for us to access services. A platform where our clients can have virtual reality of our services, right from when they walk in, seeking for a policy, up until when they buy that policy, and up until when they're in that hospital, whereby there is no human intervention, but the client can interact with digital platforms, buy the insurance policy without any assistance, be able to file their claim without any assistance, and be able to get any services that they need without any assistance from a human intervention.
So a good 40-year strategy, any good 40-year strategy would be one that has the major objective or the main objective to be profit maximization. I mean, any shareholder would want to get a good return on investment. So any good strategy should entail how you're going to maximize return on that investment. Also, while doing that, you ensure that there is minimal exposure to risk. And as well, a good strategy should be financial strategy should be properly aligned with the overall business objectives. Because if they differ, then at the end of the day, say you're going to invest money, but it's not going to help the business thrive as a whole.
Coming from a marketing perspective, I see AAR as the leading medical insurer in Uganda. I see AAR as having the biggest market share, and definitely I see AAR having the biggest target audience or customer base, and of course targeting muntu wa bulijjo. And with me, I leave a message to everyone out there that
tukyali mbooko teri kuzikiza,
tukyali mbooko tugenda mu maaso.
AAR bakyali mbooko.
Tukyali mbooko teri kuzikiza.
Tukyali mbooko teri kuzikiza.
Tewali kuzikiza and tukyali mbooko.
It's only the beginning. Teri kuzikiza, tukyali mbooko, onwards and upwards.